Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Liquid MATUMBAMAN'S NIGHTSTALKER. He went 11-0 this game, absolutely popping off, and I'm not going to lie, at first glance, I couldn't get the NIGHTSTALKER pick. I didn't get it, but, you know, by the way, I'm recording this before the Grand Finals of TI, so if Liquid has won at this point, and you're like, Speed, what do you mean? They got eliminated. But I didn't think the NIGHTSTALKER would do too well, and the reason why is, my opinion of this hero, or my understanding of this hero, is that if its BKB gets kited out, the Drow's just going to destroy it. And you might be like, oh, but it gets on top of Drow. I mean, Drow itemizes to get away from these types of heroes. Manta to dispel Void, the Pike, Gust, multi-shot slow. It's like, I mean, you have Roar. It's not like the BKB NIGHTSTALKER is that reliable. There's Roar, there's Naga Ags, right? I know it's a support Naga, but she's gonna buy Ags. At least if I was Naga, I'd do that this game because it counters the Rolling Thunder, even Lina, and most importantly, NIGHTSTALKER. So I thought, I honestly looked at this game and I thought Astra had the outdraft. I really thought Astra had the outdraft. The only thing I was concerned about for Astra was early game damage and being able to kill people. But they have a mid primal, so it's like you can kill people, right? You're gonna be able to kill people. So I honestly thought Astra had the mega outdraft this game. That was my perspective of the draft. I thought that, hey, they have one of the best position 4 heroes for dealing with Undying in lane. It can cut waves, it can trade okay with Undying, but it didn't matter, right? And yeah, I thought the Naga honestly helped this Beastmaster have a game because frankly, Undying should shut down Beastmaster pretty hard early on. But that just wasn't the case. So let's analyze why this goes so well for MATUMBAMAN as he goes 11-0. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like literally with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. So the first thing I do want to note is his starting item build. 3 mangoes, and I'm starting to see this become very popular. And I'm honestly under the impression that players are actually going to start buying 3, 4, 5 mangoes per lane. And I'm not just saying this. I know it's a crazy concept. I know it sounds insane, but if you are a Ring of Health buyer or you're a hero that needs a significant amount of tangos, the mangoes are just insane. Mango's HP regen per gold is extremely good. It's 0.6 HP regen for 65 gold, right? Which is about 0.1 HP regen per 10 gold, right? If you look at Ring of Health, just for some perspective, is actually worse than mangoes per gold for HP regen. So if you're playing an offlaner, and you need constant HP regen, and you're not going to upgrade the Ring of Health into another item, just buy mangoes, because they also eventually give you mana if you decide to consume them. And they give you more HP regen, which is kind of an interesting thing to think about, right? It's like, really? Is that actually true? Yeah, it's true. It's true, right? Unless I'm doing the math wrong and, you know, I'm about to be hella embarrassed. No, that's the case. And then he also goes for Helm of Iron Will, so he's just really playing to sustain the lane. He's going to have so much armor. Honestly, I was a little bit surprised by the Helm of Iron Will. I think does he upgrade into armlet? I don't really know. But I was surprised to see it. I thought maybe he would go for more of an aggressive phase boots, play with the Undying, but to be fair, it's pretty hard to kill anybody with no like real slow in the lane. Maybe at nighttime though. However, he just decides to go for this sustain Helm of Iron Will, completely unkillable, 12 armor, 11 regen, just flat with the mangoes is extremely good. And I would like to say the main thing that impressed me in this lane before we move on to the more important mid game, because, you know, the laning stage was kind of just a draw. Obviously, there's a lot of small things I could talk about, like at the end of the day, these pro players, their creep aggro is really good, their time to engage is really good, but the main thing he does extremely well this lane is last hits. And I know it's straightforward, but I always like to stress one of the most important things in Dota is just having really good and consistent last hits. He has 44 minute 7, which can include some boars here and there, but it's not like it includes Naga illusions. He's just last hitting absurdly well, and that's going to enable him to have an 8-minute phase boots Helm of Iron Will, which all of a sudden makes this nighttime a real issue for this Beastmaster, who currently does not have the Helm of the Dominator, right? So he doesn't have a good way to fight back against this NIGHTSTALKER. Yes, the boars are okay, but with the phase boots, he has 17 armor and can actually run at Beast a little bit if the Beast is alone. So he gets off to a great lane just with starting items. From there, he actually makes a really odd but very cool and sensical rotation to the mid lane. He has his ultimate, which gives you a bonus 50 damage and unobstructed vision as well as movement, and it really pays off here, right? He makes this movement to mid, drops the ulti, saves his Q onto the primal there, which was a great decision. It allows him to chase the CM extremely conveniently and finds a courier. And I'm personally a courier lover. It kills an entire phase boost from the primal. So value, no phase boots on primal. Phase boots are the major early game timing of primal, and it's 250 total gold to kill a courier. That's the same gold as a kill. Yes, it doesn't give the gold to one hero, which is typically more valuable, and it doesn't give any XP, but it's still a big kill. And Matumbaman gets really active. He leaves the Beastmaster lane. He understands, okay, when Beastmaster does get Helm Dom, I can't really kill the boar that conveniently. I definitely can't kill the Helm Dom creep with this hero until I have my shard. And so it's really cool that he actually rotates out and makes a movement to top, even looking for Monet here on the Drow Ranger, finding the Drow. So this is just such a great play. The amount of players who would have stayed in their lane, not identified that the fact that they can't lane against Beast at some point, right? They can early on. He has the Helm of Iron Will, he has the phase with, he has the armor, but eventually he can't and is threatened by a Roar plus Primal Beast rotation. He leaves, right? He goes to mid, gets a double kill, gets a courier, puts a little bit of pressure onto the mid tower. They took the mid tower actually in full, then goes to top, gets a kill on the Drow, finds the top tower as well. This is such good gameplay from Matumbaman. I cannot stress how great this gameplay is to avoid the counter matchup that eventually is Beast and move to lanes where he can actually get kills during the nighttime is fantastic. From there, he gets the armlet. You don't want to keep it on constantly because you don't have the best sustain, so he only turns it on occasionally when he's last hitting, but for the most part, he sort of keeps it off. Gets probably the best neutral item he can get in the Possessed Mask. Strength is so good because it just gives you so much HP, and it allows you to sustain the armlet a little bit better. It matters. And yeah, he did decide to go for the armlet here. And after that, he makes another rotation. So with the ulti coming back up and him coming towards level 9, right, he feels strong again. He's probably one of the highest levels in the game. He is behind Midgame on an extremely overfarmed Lina. What can you do? And he makes a rotation to mid. Drops the ulti here, probably only going to find the Maiden, which isn't too great. But finds the Maiden, chunks her down, 4 hits is all it takes. They're going to rotate to the bottom side. He's going to use his night vision. But the big thing here is that he's trying to kick the Drow out of the area. Right, gives a lot of space to the Lina, and it kind of kicks the Drow out of bottom. However, the only problem now is that Aster does know that, you know, hey, there is no, there's no nighttime at all, which means we can play really aggressive. So I do expect Aster to push up. That's why the Beast is pushing up here. It's like, hey, this Nightstalker is completely useless. Let's make a move. Let's take over their map. So they do have to forfeit a bit of the map, but it's fine. He goes to the tier 2, understands, hey, I'm at my weakest point. All I got to do is just not feed, not take a death, just play under the tier 2, take whatever farm I can get, not going to farm neutrals. Unfortunately, I used my ulti, didn't get the best result out of it, only Crystal Maiden kill. We're going to have to give up the mid tower. I love that from Liquid. I love the fact that they say, hey, we're weak right now, give up the mid tower. A lot of players think, oh, we have to defend towers. If the enemy team comes to a tower, we have to defend. No, you don't, especially not if they have a Beastmaster who's going to poke the tower from a safe range, and you don't have basically one of your heroes entirely in the Nightstalker. Does he rush BKB? He had his shard queued up. And typically the concept here is you buy your shard so you don't have to worry about mana, right? You don't have to buy clarities. You can heal yourself. You can eat the Helm Dom creep in the team fights. And that's actually one of the reasons why Nightstalker is considered a counter to Beastmaster. If Beastmaster buys Helm Dom 2, which fortunately for the Beastmaster, he's smart enough to know, I can't buy Helm Dom 2 this game. Might be like, why can't he buy Helm Dom 2? If you buy Helm Dom 2, Nightstalker's shard allows him to eat a creep. That includes spell immune ancient creeps as long as it's night. If it's daytime, he can't eat it. If it's nighttime, because it cannot target ancients during the daytime. That's the last line of the thing. But in the nighttime, you can eat Helm Dom 2. So if he buys Helm Dom 2 and invests all of his gold in Helm Dom 2, and it just gets eaten at the beginning of the team fight, the Beastmaster is going to feel really bad. So he doesn't go for it. He's going to buy a shard, right? He buys a shard, eats up, gives you a ton of mana regen, and it helps you sustain the armlet. That's part of it too. The armlet does drop you low. You don't have, right, lifesteal. Most heroes that buy armlet, Wraith King, Lifestealer, Huskar, have some sort of heal. Nightstalker doesn't have that at all. You're only buying it because it makes you really tanky, hit really hard. It's good build-up from the laning stage. I love the armlet. It makes you actually kill people early on. People don't know, armlet is like the highest damage item you can buy on any strength hero per gold by a long shot. The damage on armlet is disturbing as they bump into the Nightstalker here and makes a mistake. That probably should have been a kill. He didn't silence. He should have ultied into silence, preventing the Q from coming out. So a bit of a mistake, kind of unfortunate because Nightstalker without ulti is actually kind of weak. a lot of people don't get this. They think, oh, it's nighttime, I'm strong. If you have to walk up to people with no BKB, you're probably not going to do too much. Like, even this fight, like, his team is going to end up winning this fight, but his impact is going to be kind of crap, right? Because like, if he can fly over the wall and see them coming and go on to, like, these two people with a silence, it'd probably be good. But because they can just walk up to him and he can't sneak around, it ends up not being a great fight. And gets a toggle off here, ends up getting another toggle here. Honestly, people were, like, hyping up the toggles. I'm not going to lie, they weren't the best. Like, he got him off, and it was close, but he nearly fucked it up. Like, he didn't play it I'm not trying to hate on Matuma, I'm a huge fan. Like, you know, I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to critique, because I'm just a lover of optimal gameplay. That's, like, what I love. It's what I care about. But you can see in between the fight here, he can eat an Ancient Creep, and now if he wants to go back in, he doesn't. But if he wants to go back in, he can, right? He's healed up, gets a bit of HP, and it's such a low cooldown, and it helps you farm Ancients. It gives you the gold, right? So he eats the Ancient Creep, gets him the gold, 20-second cooldown. He can just eat the lane creep now. He can eat a large creep. It's also just a great farming tool, right? It comes back up again. And, you know, because NIGHTSTALKER doesn't have a way to flash farm, this helps you because you can eat Ancients, as I was saying. So it really is key as he eats the Helm Dom creep, right? Boom. Helm Dom creep gone. If it's low MMR, people are going to buy Helm Dom too. You're just going to eat their creep. And then this Beastmaster is just going to be a bot, right? Yeah, he has Roar, but, like, that's it. And they take a really good fight here. They find a good angle. He's really tanky with his armor. Wraith Pact's a bit of a problem, to be honest. As you can see, the sustain is it's a little bit hard to sustain, but they find a great angle. And once again, now it's very easy for him just to heal up with the shard. Even scouts out Ori on the bottom side. So if they want to dive Ori, they can. They have level 2 NIGHTSTALKER ult. They could make the play, but unfortunately they do get scanned down, so they kind of know this is happening, as they're gonna get scattered down by beasts. So they'll have to chill a bit. They're trying to play the ward, but he decides, okay, they're grouped up. We're not going to commit. My Pango's not here. Pango's pushing out top. So he'll rotate into the top jungle as he thinks he finds Naga, but none of those are real. So he kind of wasted a bit of time there. It's whatever. They're looking for a fight. He has BKB now. He's ready to go. Yeah, there you go. So they're going to smoke. They have the BKB. It's still nighttime for 7 seconds, so you can use that to scout before ulting, right? But once your nighttime ends, you're going to have to kind of let someone else lead because NIGHTSTALKER has reduced day vision. Right, he doesn't see very much, so he can start the fight, eat the creep, take it out, gets the BKB off at a great time, right? BKB's right before the Roar, otherwise he probably would die to CM and Primal. So he gets off the BKB and the Roar's kind of wasted, right? It's not a bad Roar, but the problem is Drow, I mean, I kind of thought like he wouldn't be able to run in, but I was wrong. He's just too tanky. He's just too tanky. Like his HP with the armlet and the armor, he's too tanky and he just doesn't die during the BKB, and now it's tough, right? The Penguin's gonna zone out the Drow easily zones out the Drow, and they can't fight. I really thought it would be way harder, but it's really easy to see the Primal initiation. Like usually Primal kills people by catching them off guard. They can see everything, right? So the Primal can't catch anyone. They don't have a division advantage with Beastmaster, and this NIGHTSTALKER pick is working perfectly. Usually when you're playing against Beastmaster, rarely will you feel that you get the vision advantage and you get to jump the people you want. You get to, you know, have the Pango easily go on Drow. You get to have you get to get your BKB off before the Roar comes out. Usually that's not what happens. Often this carry hero or whoever would run in would get roared without BKB. It's an option or likely to happen, and then the fight's a disaster. But the NIGHTSTALKER ulti is just too much, right? It's way more vision than Hawk, and so they win the vision advantage with this last pick. Really cool. And they're going to go for another smoke now. They just still have their ult. They're going to go into the Undying, but that's just... It gets off Flesh Golem and Tombstone. That's a great play from Insania to get off his spells before getting gone on him. Once again, they can't really get caught off guard, right? They can't get caught off guard because with this Rolling Thunder, they just can't catch the Pango. And it's not like, oh, you know, you don't know where they are. You know exactly where they are. So even though there is Roar Drow autos for Pango ult, he feels comfortable. He's going to be able to get off Shield Crash before the Roar comes out onto multiple heroes because he knows where they are. And that's exactly what happens. Gets off the Shield Crash, gets off the roll, and there's no way they can fight. They're getting completely run over. Every single fight, there's just a complete vision advantage, and they can't get Naga Nets out, they can't get Frostbites out, because how Aster wants to play is they don't want to lead with Roar. They want to lead with Frostbite, they want to lead with Net. But these heroes can't go in with the Pango roll, and the Lina being behind that. They can't go in, and they're never getting to jump onto the Lina because they see everything. So it's just playing out perfectly for Liquid in these fights. What did he buy? He had Nullifier queued up. Oh, just buy some Basher. Okay, I think that's him saying like, I'm gonna stick on top of this primal in the drow. I'll just take the drow out of the fight. Because he was going Noli, but Noli is not good against drow if she's rushing BKB, which she is. So he just decides to go for the basher. Bit of a harder counter to the drow. Maybe he feels that that's his job. As the roar comes out onto the Pango. Oh, but did they... Oh, man, that sucks for Aster. They got the Aegis before the song comes out. And it's just a disaster now. Like, Boka's walking in, but for what? Right? What are you really doing? You're stalling out the Pango roll, which is... Honestly, I think this Naga 4 pick's banger here, but it just doesn't play out. They couldn't get in time, and Pango just... Zai, even though he had the worst laning stage of all time, he was so poor. It doesn't matter, it's Pango. It's kind of one of the reasons why teams like Pango. No matter how poor this hero is, it's rolling thunder. You know what I mean? It could have 0 net worth, it's still rolling thunder. You know, and so he's just able to zone out the backline completely. CM has to disengage. She's too afraid of getting gone on. Yeah, they just kind of zone out the backline. They allow the Aegis to come out. Boxy probably goes a little bit too far here, but, you know, they commit the primal spells for him, and they're able to initiate, and once again, the vision game. It's so easy for the Lina position. The Lina never has to be afraid of getting jumped, because that's kind of the win con for Aster. Take out this Lina, because the Lina's most of their damage. Just keep it real. This NIGHTSTALKER, he hits, but it's not Lina, right? And so they need to get on top of the Lina, but they know what's happening. They see the vision. The CM gets stunned, Bash comes out onto the Beast, and it's just a wraps from there. He's going to BKB on Ori, but there is a Basher. Can't find it. That's fine. And once again, can instantly heal up with the Shard. Kites out, has the ulti going, picks up a Hyperstone. I wonder what he'll probably go AC. It's really great here, right? The armor against the Drow, because Drow's ulti only pierces through base armor, right? It only gets rid of, pierces through your armor that you get from agility, not armor you get from, you know, plate mail or anything like that. So there you go. He queues up the AC, which is going to be such a hard counter to this Beast and this Drow. And now the game is getting, I don't want to say impossible, but this Drow is not able to hit her timings. She doesn't even have a completed Shadow Blade at minute 27. She's quite poor, right? You might be like, oh, she's top net worth of her team, but that's not a very farm Drow, right? She's only 3k gold above the Beast. She's 2k gold behind a hero with no innate farming mechanism, right, on the NIGHTSTALKER. This is not a hero that you expect to be more farm than Drow. Not a hero you expect to have the exact same CS as Drow. That's insane. But that's the tempo that Liquid's been able to put on. Just abusing the BKB and the vision from the NIGHTSTALKER on his BKB timing. They've just been smoking, right? Making plays. And once again, they're going to kind of, I guess he just feels confident here. This is a bit risky. They could have a Hawk, right? So this is kind of psychotic. As he gets the Paladin Sword, probably will swap that in. Still has a Possessed Mask, 28 minutes. Is that really correct? Probably should have Aquila. It's technically not, I don't know. Yeah, he should probably have Aquila. I don't really like Dagger of Ritsu. Dagger of Ritsu. The Dagger of Ritsu. But, so they're going to go up the high ground here. A little bit risky once again. Like, yeah, he's kind of going crazy. I think he just thinks he can't die. If he gets roared, he gets snowballed. So I think he just thinks he can't die. I think he thinks the Soul Rip, the Pango Roll, there's no way they kill him. There's not enough damage. And I think he's right? Like, they could gust the snowball, I guess, but he probably won't die. And then he can also use his E if he does get gone on. So they're just playing so far up, and Aster's going to try to leave the base. This might be Liquid's time to go. They know Aster is pushing out to the top side. Pango's sort of trying to tank the gank, but no, okay, Aster leaves the base. They're looking for an angle where they can fight them with the initiation. And in particular, they don't want to burn NIGHTSTALKER ulti. Like, a big issue with NIGHTSTALKER as a hero is that your ulti can get burned, and that can become a problem, right? If your ulti does get burned, then your hero kind of sucks. Like, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, people don't get it. Your ulti really is your hero in the late game, otherwise you don't hit that hard, right? Because it's 185 damage. It's not a double damage, but it's like 60-70% bonus damage. Your hero and, you know, the free vision, you can't fight with that ult. So they're gonna smoke mid. I think they basically Liquid saying here, hey, we showed out NIGHTSTALKER top. We're gonna assume you're gonna push out into your triangle with that information, and we're gonna expect you to be in your triangle. We're gonna run up, and okay, Aster didn't run into the triangle, so they didn't kind of fall for this trap. But I think they end up, no, they kind of do. They run up the hill. That's a CM running up, which, you know, someone's got a front line. You don't really want it to be this Ags Naga, but the Naga is gonna throw out the net, but that doesn't feel so good because he's not even BKB yet, so he's not really wasting anything. And the roll comes out. Boka tries to get in and get off his ult, but it's to no avail. And Yeah, it's wild to see a Beastmaster draft never getting the initiation. Not a single time have they properly got an initiation. They try here, isn't enough. He gets off his BKB once again. Soul Rip comes out. I think the Naganet comes out, and they pull him in. Just doesn't matter. He's too tanky. He has his E. He probably will run to Ancients to try to get a creep. Oh, it's daytime. He can't. Yeah, it's just too tanky. Not overextending, by the way. MATUMBAMAN doing a great job of... What a lot of Nightstalkers do wrong is they pop their ulti and they book it for the backline. It's super incorrect because you're not unkillable, right? Especially against a Roar, a Naga Ags, right? Because if you don't know what Naga Ags is, you can net people through BKB, right? So even if you think you're survivable and you can just run in with BKB, you're going to get disabled. And most importantly, if he does it too early, she'll click song, net you during the song, and everyone can hit you during song because you're BKB'd, and you can't move. So he could throw the game by BKBing too early and going too deep. But he knows that, and that's another one of those things where it's hard to see. It's like, why are these players so good? He has not made that mistake. He stayed relatively close to his team, hasn't overextended, and that has given them no opportunity to get off this big song play where you're isolating these BKB heroes that really rely on it to win the fight. And once again, this was their best attempt. I think Aster nearly got the job done. They're just too poor, right? This was a good attempt, right? They find the Undying, they get off the Gust, so they nearly kill him beforehand, but they're just too poor, so they don't get the job done. They even find the net onto the Pangos, so this Naga counter, as I said, I think this Naga pick is a really banger here. Like, the Ags net is so good, right? Because look, you throw it at him, if he doesn't have Lotus, I mean, to be fair, they roared too, which is kind of... Yeah, he already Lotus, so they didn't need to roar. Kind of a mistake. Yeah, they stacked their stuns here. All they needed is the net. He doesn't have any way out with the Lotus on cooldown. But he really messes up on Beast here, unfortunately, and just dies, actually. But another, they zone out the backline. Once again, they just can't really kill anyone. They're not farmed enough. And this game's, it's pretty done. They're going to, I think they wait for Aegis. Do they? No, they just go. It's a bit tough, right? No Nightstalker ulti. I talked about how mediocre your hero is, and they back off. And I like this decision. Okay, they're going to try anyway. Maybe they feel like 17k net worth is enough, and the Primal goes in, but doesn't find anything. He goes in, but he doesn't catch anybody. It's like, great. Now this Primal hero is useless. He's out of the fight. He's used everything. MATUMBAMAN trying to run ahead, but no ulti. It doesn't matter. This Rolling Thunder is a problem. It's a problem. The BKBs are on cooldown. The Rolling Thunder is like the best ability in the game when all the BKBs are on cooldown. It's too much of a problem. And yeah, that's the end of the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this analysis. Just shout out MATUMBAMAN. Congrats on the TI run. It's just so awesome to see him doing so well, right? Like, it's just cool. I honestly don't think he's going to retire for long. Which, I don't know who he is. I don't know his life. I'm not him. I just feel like after this TI run, after all the adrenaline and success he's going to have now, even though Liquid didn't, directly qualify to TI, which probably gave him some pretty bad Dota vibes, this is going to maybe bring some enthusiasm back into his soul and make it pretty hard for him to quit Dota. Because he's such a great player. This game is a masterclass. It's his movements early game, so good. So good. Like, I can't stress how important his movements early game were to avoid the Beastmaster timing, to secure the mid and top tower as a carry. To pick a hero like this in a game 3 is confidence. It's confidence and just competence through the roof as they find the go. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.